everyone, and welcome back to Long Story Short with Nicole Pellegrino. I almost want to be like, hey everybody, it's Nicole Pellegrino and you're watching Disney Channel, because that's how I feel when I do the intro to this. But anywho, I'm just in a silly, goofy mood today because I had a really good OBGYN appointment. We always love that when you're pregnant. And I'm back. I'm trying to be productive this week. And I am just truly having so much fun doing this show for you guys. It's been so much work, I will say. I'm trying to lock in and record as many episodes as possible before I physically go into labor. So that's been a little overwhelming in a way, but overwhelming in the best way, because I really am just having so much fun doing it. I had a really exciting interview yesterday. I'm locking in some amazing guests. I have some really good, valuable topics planned for you guys for solo episodes I'm going to do. And we're just rocking and rolling. I'm going to make this the shortest intro ever because it would be a sin to keep it long, because we got to get to this episode. I'm telling you, I've never learned so much from a guest in my life. I had Lia Higgins on. She's also known as @OneLitMama on the internet. So Leah's the type of person where you physically feel like you're getting smarter from listening to her speak and from talking to her. She is truly such a badass. We talk about being a working mom and rising through the ranks in the corporate world while having kids. If that's even possible. If so, what does it look like? Lia herself went through a massive transition, which she shares with us, of being a big law lawyer and leaving that world that she worked so hard for to be a mom and a content creator, which she's so honest and vulnerable about her identity and how that shifted so much when she made that huge life decision. It's just fascinating. She shares her personal story with miscarriage and a very traumatic birth experience, and why it's so important for women to talk about those things. We talk about the notion of having it all, and is that possible? What does that even mean? Is it possible to have it all at the same time as a mom? You know, I used to march around being like, I'm gonna have it all one day. And the more I learn and the closer I get to being a parent, I'm like, what does have it all mean, you know? And then, we talk about things like, should you have a birth plan going into the hospital? And it's really interesting to hear what Lia has to say about that stuff. Before I get into the episode, I'm doing a really clickbaity thing right now where I'm doing field research these days on my Insta story. I am so lucky to have built such an engaged community there of moms and women in general, but a lot of moms these days, I wonder freaking why, who you guys are very active in my DMs, which I love. You're not afraid to tell me what's good. And I learned so much from you in the DMs. I spend a lot of time in my DMs, and on my Insta story, I'll just kind of y'all know I'm chaotic there. I'll share whatever I'm doing. I use it. I use my Instagram audience as my Google, where I will post an Insta story, ask what you guys are buying, ask what you're doing, ask your opinion on something, and you'll all submit it. And it's better than ChatGPT, it's better than Google, it's better than everything. For some reason, I've gotten a lot of my registry stuff thus far, all the stuff, the big stuff for the baby, the stroller, the crib, the things like that. I will be sharing all of that very soon, and I'll share more about everything that's on my registry. But one of the things I still have yet to order and decide on, for some reason, I'm really struggling on deciding on a bassinet. And I posted that on my Insta story saying, which bassinets are we buying? So instead of sharing there on my Insta story, you have to listen to this podcast to get the answers. Sorry, I gotta get listeners somehow. Here are the biggest submissions by far that I was getting for which bassinets to get. So no shocker here. We had a lot of submissions for the snoo. Now, from what I've heard, we love the snoo because it physically puts the baby to sleep, thus helping parents get more sleep. I've heard mixed reviews. There's people that have gotten it, and, they say that it does such a good job of making your newborn sleep that when you go to eventually wean them off of that into the crib, then we have a regression period because they're not used to the subtle rocking and the noises and everything. I mean, frankly, it's just very expensive. And that's, I've heard parents be like, you have the baby in this thing for sometimes only 3 months. It's different for every baby, but sometimes you don't have them in there for that long. And so, like, why spend the money? But I'm just sharing what you guys told me. Y'all love the snoo. Probably the second most submitted one on my Insta story was at the Halo bassinet, the one that swivels. A lot of people were saying they love their Halo. They used it for their first. They want to use it for their second. It was affordable. And especially this swivel feature, it allows you to more easily breastfeed at night. I don't know. I heard a lot. I just saw a lot of swivel next to the Halo submission. I think my sister used the Halo too. I'll check in with her, but I'm almost positive. The third one that, like, very obviously was one of the big submissions was the Newton. I don't know much about the Newton. I just saw the word Newton a lot as I was scrolling. So I'm going to look into that one because, again, I have no idea. So those were the top 3, like, by far that were submitted as the favorites. There were a handful of honorable mentions that I do want to quickly go over. And again, I want to make very clear, if I'm not talking about your bassinet that you have already purchased or you currently use for your baby, that is totally fine. Your baby could sleep in a drawer for all, like, actually, let's not do that. But your baby could sleep in any sort of bassinet, and if it works for your baby, it works for your baby. And please don't, like, take what I'm saying here and freak out and be like, she didn't mention my bassinet as a recommendation. Now I need to return mine and get one of these. I'm really not trying to influence you in that way. I'm just solely sharing the submissions that I received, again, on my Instagram story. So it's not like I did a countrywide search for this. But okay, another one, a handful of others that were definitely recommended. The Graco Smart Sense. I actually met the Graco team a couple weeks ago at an event, and they were lovely. Graco products have been around, I feel like, forever. They're very reliable. This is not sponsored. I know they're known for, like, peak safety measures, like, very much highly rated in terms of safety. I got to see their bassinet at this event, and it did the rocking motion. It had noise in the background, like a noisemaker. It looked like a nice one. So that's on the table still. The Four Moms Mamaroo. A handful of you guys recommended this. My best friend uses this one, loves it. I don't know much about it, but yeah. Baby Bjorn. They do a good job with a lot of products, I will say. Some people said Maxi Cozy. I saw some people say Nestig. And then some people also said just get a pack and play and use that as a bassinet. I never thought that was even an option. I don't know why. I talked about this in my episode with Callie too. I just have such an anxiety around, like, the baby sleeping and in perfect conditions. So maybe that's why I'm taking forever to make moves on purchasing a bassinet. But yeah, I don't know. More were mentioned, but, like, again, these were the ones that really stuck out as the most frequently submitted ones. I'll keep you guys posted. But anywho, I love you guys. Continue to email me. Follow us on Instagram. Louie is ferociously barking right outside my door. So that is my cue to end this intro and let you go into the episode with Lia. I promise you are going to love it. Thank you so much for listening. Mwah. I don't think you understand how freaking tired I am today.
No, I
but, like,
bet
your
you are.
presence is waking me up.
I'm glad.
So
I'm gonna
after
try.
this, I'm gonna crash.
I
but,
know. I'm
okay.
sorry, babe. You're doing a lot. I can't believe you launched
so
now.
much.
I'm like,
no, I'm an idiot.
No, you're not. Like, you're like you have to be tired.
No, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted.
God, poor baby. I'm sorry.
Okay, I am so excited. I have a good friend of mine in the studio today. We are ready to go. This woman is outstanding. She does it all. Her name is Lia Higgins, also known as @OneLitMama. Follow her. You're a mother of 2. You are a lawyer. I like to say you are, which we'll get into.
Fair enough.
Are a lawyer, a content creator, a fabulous writer. Oh my God. Like, her writing, Don't get me started. I'll talk all about it. You have work published in HuffPost, Oprah Daily, and my personal favorite, which is your Substack, which we're going to talk about. That's more impressive than the HuffPost and Oprah Dailies for me. And you're just a wealth of knowledge of all things motherhood. You're like truly the motherhood whisperer. When it comes to like motherhood and even just life in general, I feel like I'd follow you off of a cliff. So,
oh God, don't do that. Like, you're totally making me blush right now.
I know. Well, here's the thing. I'm a hype woman, but I'm extra hyped for you because you deserve it. You deserve every bit of hype.
Oh, thank you.
Leah, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. It's actually kind of funny because I was saying the other day, I was like, I think I need a podcast pause. Like, it's been a lot of podcasts this year.
Really?
And then as soon as you launched, I was like, well,
damn it.
Shit.
One more.
But yeah, no, of course, I'm like so happy to be here. I'm so excited.
No, I'm so, well, and it's no wonder that you're a podcast pro and everybody wants you on their show because truly, like, I mean, if you take one 10-second look at any one of your channels, you really are such a wealth of knowledge about all of this stuff. And you have like the perfect balance. I was thinking this while watching your content. I was like, you're opinionated, which is what makes you such a good podcast guest. Because a wise person once told me, who's a podcast expert, that you have to have strong opinions to be an engaging podcaster. And I'm like, I'll flip-flop back and forth. I don't care. But you have very strong opinions and you just like research all this stuff. So you're just great to talk about it all.
I feel like so many women and so many mothers are wealths of knowledge. I feel like a lot of them have so much information to give, like things that I would never even think of or know about. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to share it or to like find the time to do it and even the energy or like the desire to put it out there, especially publicly. It's like, well, I don't really want to talk about that, especially like the nitty gritty, like gross kind of shit or like terrible stuff that I talk about. People are like, why would I want to put that on blast? And me, on the other hand, I'm like, I just put my whole life on blast, I guess.
Well, and it's scary to share things, I feel like, about motherhood, because even in pregnancy, like, people get offended very easily when it comes to, like, what you should do with your kids and stuff, because they feel very strongly one way or another. So it's scary to feel like I'm putting my advice out there or my experience of what I did. It's like when I used to do, like, wedding content. People get so attached to what they're doing for their own wedding. So if you disagree, they'll come for your neck. They'll come for you.
No, they take it personally. Instead of saying, well, I try to be careful when I talk about things like this. And I'm like, this is what I did. This is my preference. This is what I recommend. This is what I would do. It's not Bible. Like, I'm not telling you exactly what you have to do or you're a shit mom or whatever. I'm telling you what I did, what works for me. And the truth is, like, everyone's baby is different. Everyone's motherhood journey is different. Ugh, did I just say that? Motherhood? Whatever. Everyone's process of becoming a mom, what works for their family is different. So some shit that works for me is not going to work for you, and that's okay. Generally, I try to give the best recommendations I possibly can. And a lot of the time, they tend to fit.
Yeah. And you have life experience because you are a mom of two. How old are the kids now?
Oh my God.
I'm acting like I aunt like who's known you from birth. I'm like, how old are they these days? Yeah.
My older one, my son, is almost 3, which is crazy. Jackson, and he's hysterical. That kid cracks me up. And then my daughter might be even more outrageous and funny. She's like me in really tiny baby form, but like more balls to the wall, if you can imagine. She is 17 months.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
I have them back to back.
Literally back to back. Oh my God. And a boy and a girl. So you could say the daughter's tougher because she's
easier in some ways. Like, she sleeps like an angel. But I'm telling you, if she could fully talk, she's starting to talk now, but if she could fully talk, she would say, like, Mom, put me in my crib. I actually need my beauty sleep. I don't want to be bloated tomorrow. Like, she's got heavy diva energy in the best way.
I love that. I love when little girls are just like divas from birth.
Oh, yeah.
Which is so how
I can't get her out of my closet.
Gonna be. Really?
Yeah. Well, yeah, get ready for that.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I can't get
Wait, I didn't even think of that.
I need a lock.
She's just in there. and makeup and bags. She's going to come after your bags.
She's already coming after my bags. It's unbelievable. I have to put the best ones all the way at the top.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, absolutely
She's like,
not.
a new toy. Oh my God. I haven't even thought about that. I need to start a bag collection because I need to have things to give to her and keep for myself.
Marketing, Nicole. Like, you are queen of marketing. What do you mean you haven't thought about this? Like, this is how you sell a bag to your husband. Like, oh, I spent X amount on this. Yeah, but it's for both of us.
That's
like
so true.
Multi-generational
it's
purpose.
for the daughter.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to do that. What was that? Jesus. Wow, we just heard like the loudest bang. Like that's the universe being like, yes, more bags.
Exactly.
Which, by the way, like you just have the chicest closet. I was showing somebody your profile the other day. I was showing my manager. She was in town and it's like, I'm having her on the podcast. And the first thing she said, she was like, her style, so chic. And I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, she is. You're always dressed to the nines. And your apartment is just my favorite thing in all of Manhattan.
Thank you.
No, truly, like my fun fact is that like I have a friend with the most beautiful apartment ever.
Well, you're going to have to come over and hang.
I can't wait.
Bring the baby. It's actually baby proof, which is shocking.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, has to be. But you don't got to ask me twice. Okay. I feel like this question's perfect for you. I'm going to do a thing with all my mom guests where I ask them the same question at the beginning of the episode. So it's, what's one motherhood/parenting product that you can't live without?
Right now, and this is like not a plug for this company. I'm telling you, this is like my genuine answer. My House of Noah playmat. My kids are so rough and tumble right now. I'm like, they're playing with each other. And I need a place in my apartment where they can like really have it out and like go crazy and like fall and it's fine and it's safe. It's this playmat. It also like does not mess with the apartment decor. So
okay, good. Oh, it's very neutral.
Yeah.
Rough and tumble?
Yeah. It's called House of Noah is the brand name. It's their playmat. I forget what the actual name of the mat is, but I'm obsessed with it.
Okay.
It's amazing. So that, and then I'm going to give you two, is Dramamine Kids, because my kids puke in the car all the time. And
I didn't know that was a thing.
It's awful. You don't even understand what I went through the other. I'm not even going to tell this story on the podcast because it was so awful.
You can.
No,
we get gross here.
You don't understand. There was all sorts of like
substances.
It was terrible. Like multiple throw ups, multiple bathroom instances.
I'd like to hear this from you because you're so clean and put together.
Because I'm constantly cleaning. Like, you have to be clean when you're constantly cleaning up throw up. Like,
yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. So finally, I was hesitant to give my kids any sort of medication, but I get sick in the car. And it's gotten worse since my pregnancies. And a lot of women say that is after they give birth, like their motion sickness that they had before gets worse.
Of course.
I have of course. I have definitely had that experience, and my poor children have it. So finally, I got some Dramamine Kids, and I don't know, is that controversial to give your kids medication?
No.
Or whatever. I'm giving it
gonna give
to my older one, and it has worked wonders lately.
Really?
And so, yeah, that has been my saving grace at the moment.
Oh my God, that's something like thank you, because I would never even think of it. Like even with our dog, not me again. I did this on the last episode too. I compare my dog to people's babies.
Of course.
But
that's not bad.
Like it's really not. He's my baby. I'm sorry. People know it.
Yeah.
We lucked out with him because other dogs get sick in the car and he's never gotten sick. We've taken him on 5-hour drives. Like he's perfect in the car. And we're always like, we get so lucky. Maybe I'll get lucky and my kids will just never get sick.
I hope that for you, baby girl. I really do. I really do.
Oh my God. No, but that's why I was like, you will be perfect for this question because I am eating up your Substack. I'm a subscriber. You have a whole registry guide. Like truly, you guys know, like I'm obsessed with every single one of my guests and I could sit here and hype you up forever. But like Lia's content on Substack, you really just have like everything from like all the motherhood guides, all the deep dives on like why you're feeling how you're feeling in motherhood, and it's just so well written. And you do like lifestyle guides too, like you're dining, eating, watching.
It's whatever the people want. I try to give everyone a little bit of something. I think that's like a hard part about my content in some ways is that I'm not super niche down anymore. I used to be like all baby product recommendations pretty much, and like pumping guides and that sort of thing. And then I don't remember when this happened, but I think I filmed a day in the life, or like I had something that was like more not on a green screen. I'm dating myself. This was like a few years back when I was doing green screen videos. I guess I like got rid of the green screen and I showed a bit of my life, and everyone was like, oh, well, more of that, please. So now my content is like way more mixed because it does have more lifestyle, and that's become my writing more too. It's like, what am I buying this month, and where am I eating? What activities am I doing? How do you use your breast pump? Like I still try and post those guides. And
you literally have a whole like guide on how to use the Spectra for optimal milk production.
It is important. No one fucking sorry, I am allowed to curse on this. I'm outraged by this. No one taught me how to use my breast pump for like weeks with my first child. I was using it on the same settings, and like nothing was happening. I was like, really? That's it? Like my boobs are enormous. Nothing? No. Really? And then I like did a deep dive and figured it out, and then I was like, I gotta just put this out there for everyone.
And I can tell you right now, I'm gonna sit down in my chair, my little glider with my Spectra, and I'm pulling up your guide, because truly that is something I would never know how to do, and I'm like too lazy and scatterbrained to like do the research myself. So that is something where like I need a guide to tell me like go to this setting and then down to this one for 10 minutes and down to this one to get that milk.
You'll figure it out as you go. Like different things work. Like I was saying before, different things will work for you, but like this will give you a nice start and at least an understanding of what you're doing and like why you're changing the pump settings, because most people don't even know that. But I'm telling you, this was not that I wasn't like lazy. Like no part of me wanted to go research this. I was desperate. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I hadn't slept. Nothing was coming out. It's like, this is not working for me. So it was just out of desperation. I think I had Bravo on in the background.
Well, like, we thank you. I'm speaking for all of us. We thank you for sharing that, because we're going to use it. And speaking of you sharing this content, you weren't always in this world. No. You were not always here, but we're so glad you are, because it really is your purpose and your passion, clearly. Can you just tell us about like your story? You can do the short version. You can do the long version. We'll take any. But you were in Big Law, and you left your job in Big Law to be a content creator and a writer full time. I need to hear like logistically, what were your days looking like when you were a mother but also a Big Law attorney?
Not great.
You're like,
I mean, so to be clear, like there were so many parts of the job that I really did love, and it was wonderful. But like before I had kids, I thought I could potentially go all the way. Like I could make partner. I'm crushing it. I don't care if I have to work all weekend. Like it didn't bother me.
Right.
Like my husband was also grinding at his job. Like I saw my friends enough where it didn't really bother me that I would have to cancel plans, or I couldn't really make plans. I also knew what I was getting into, because before I went to law school, I was a paralegal for 2 years, which was arguably more demanding than my job as an associate. And so like I knew what I was getting into and what the time commitment was going to be. That didn't bother me. And then I had kids. I had my first kid, and I was like, I don't care about the same things I cared about before. Yeah. And it hit me really hard because I was stunned by that. I really thought that, like, of course my life would change. Obviously, a baby changes things. But I didn't expect that it was going to change, in some ways, my work ethic, like, who I thought I wanted to be, my goals. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. Like you saw it firsthand. Like I'm in the stage you're referencing right now where like I'm like, I know it's going to change, but I am still, I mean, I haven't experienced it yet. Yeah. This baby's not out of me, but but I know, like you're saying, like just the things I care about are gonna.
Yeah, it's hard to conceptualize until you're really in it. So my first week back at work after I came back with my first baby, I worked until I think like 11, 12 o'clock at night, maybe later. My first, like, I came back on a Tuesday and that was Friday night. And I think I just cried, and then I had to work the whole weekend.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, I haven't seen my kid.
Did you get a decent maternity leave?
Amazing.
Oh, okay.
Incredible. I had almost 6 months, which for U.S. standards is incredible.
Yeah.
For non-American standards, that's crap.
Yeah.
But for American standards, it's like great. And I was making a full Big Law salary. So, like, that was wonderful.
We had that.
And it wasn't long into coming back from my first where I was like, I'm not sure how sustainable that is. So we're going to give it another try for a little bit longer. I'm going to try for a second baby. Mm-hmm. I got pregnant really quickly with my second. And I was like a little terrified to tell them. And I was super sick. So it was hard to hide it the second time around. I was throwing up. I was big. It was bad.
Yeah.
So I was really scared to tell them that I was pregnant so quickly after coming back. But at the same time, I was like, all right.
And not like blaming your company or anything, but like it just sucks that like women have to be scared to tell that they're pregnant. Like that's like at many companies. Like that's just the society we live in. Like why do we have to feel scared to tell? But it makes sense. Like
getting placed on the mommy track in the corporate world is definitely a real thing. Listen, my firm was incredibly supportive the first time I got pregnant. They were, very happy for me. Mm-hmm. I felt like they were very respectful of both giving me great opportunities. Like I flew to take depositions and I got to first chair them like 7 months pregnant with my first. And like that was physically really taxing, but also a wonderful opportunity. And they didn't take it from me just because I was pregnant. Where I think a lot of corporate jobs, you would have the experience where you're getting kind of sidetracked.
Yeah.
They were incredibly supportive. No one bothered me on maternity leave. It wasn't like that. When I got pregnant with my second, I think it was kind of like, okay, I think this might be a wrap here. And that was my fault and theirs potentially.
Yeah. Well, so I know nothing about the Big Law environment. Picture me in Big Law. I don't know why that's like even funny to picture.
Honestly, I would love it. But, and if you did a parody video of this, I would die laughing.
I need to. I want to like break into a Big Law office for the day and just like shadow them.
I think we could probably make that happen.
Okay. Yes. Let's do that. But so I know nothing about that world. But so like this might be a dumb question, but whatever. Are there like a lot of moms there? I could assume no.
Yes.
Okay.
So what I will say, and this is advice that I give to all women in the corporate space, is don't just look at how many moms are at a company.
Okay.
That is important. Like look at that. But how many moms are in positions of leadership?
Yes.
Because the way that they interact with their children and the way that they set the tone for the rest of the company will matter for you. So, for example, what happens in Big Law a lot is that women do not have children until they make partner or they leave by the time they make partner.
Wow.
That is the majority. There are some exceptions to that rule, and don't worry, they will point them out to you when you're interviewing who all of the exceptions are.
Really?
If you can get into the nitty-gritty of, okay, when did they make partner? Like, do they leave to go to their children's soccer games? Do they block out time? Do they say that that's acceptable for associates to do? Associates, whatever the terminology is for whatever field you're in. For us, it's associates and partners. Look at the leadership. Look at not only if they have kids, look at when they had kids in relation to when they got the leadership position, and then look at how they handle having kids in those positions of leadership, because that will have a trickle-down effect.
Yes. Oh my God, that's such good advice. And also just like think deeply. Could you see yourself happily doing that? And if not, maybe leave that interview. Don't pursue.
Well, leave the interview, or like if you're there, shift. This is another great piece of advice that I got that I got so much shit when I made a video about this, because everyone's like, you had the privilege to leave your job. I was like, yes, I know. That is besides the point. Like, I'm not saying leave for a lesser salary, but if you are looking at the people at the top of your company or your field, and you don't want that life, but you want to keep going in your career, you don't just want to like coast, you want to progress, like why are you staying? If the end goal is not what you want. Like what's the reason?
I think that's such good advice. Like I remember just like working in media, working for Viacom back when I was working for Nickelodeon forever ago, before it was Paramount now. And I remember seeing the EVPs and the VPs and just like coming in, and they were like always rushing around, very stressed, and coming from a kid's thing or like missing a kid's recital or whatever. And I remember just being like, oh, see, like I don't know what I want, but it's not that. And thankfully, it's like working out for me where I don't have to have that, don't have to chase that. But, and then I would turn to my friend and be like, do you want that life? And my friend would be like, yeah, I want to be a VP and I want that life. I want kids eventually and I want to be, and I'd be like, oh, no, I don't.
Yeah.
So everybody's different. Yeah. But like, I just cannot imagine like the big law life because I get stressed out when I have to like report to anyone, let alone like. And I just remember in my corporate environments, and this is in the media world, so very different, lots of women, lots of moms. But I remember there were still some people who weren't moms who would say a little comment if so-and-so who was a mom was running a little late or was taking a minute to get back on some feedback for a design or something. Like, and I'd be like, this is something I pride myself on. I would always be like, cut her a break. She's a mother. And I think it's like, you know, my sister had kids, whatever. I saw motherhood. But like, I'm a big believer in like, we need to cut mother slack. I don't care. I know I'm about to be one, so I'm biased. But
yeah. I think I honestly, if you haven't realized this about me, I'm like such a pragmatic realist.
No, I know. That's why I love your perspective.
I generally believe that. But I think that it can be really hard. For example, like I would feel terrible when my team would get stuck with work that I was like assigned or supposed to be doing because like I physically couldn't, right? Sometimes I just didn't have childcare and I didn't have children old enough where I could put them in front of the TV and like abandon ship all day to do my work. Like I didn't have kids that age, so it wasn't a thing. So sometimes I would get weekend work or night work and I'd say, you know, like this is going to have to wait for me and someone else would have to do it. And I could see how resentment would build.
Yes.
For that.
Yeah.
Like I totally get it because at some point that feels unfair. But the issue is not that women are having children and becoming mothers. The issue is that at least in the corporate world, there's no infrastructure to support them.
Yes.
So that they can stay on the teams that they're on and still not punt all of their like leftover work that they physically cannot get to to someone else. Like it's not in place to accommodate.
Not to make you like write a dissertation on this right now, and I feel like you've written very helpful articles on this, but like what kind of infrastructure like would we need in place? I'm like, Leah, change the corporate world right now.
Oh gosh.
Like part-time or just like better hours for everyone so that it's like I don't know, what is it?
Yeah, I mean, I think some of it, work from home flexibility, I think has been huge for a lot of women. Especially women with older children. It does. Yeah. Like if my kids were older, I could have put my kids in front of the TV or let them play a game while I did my work, and like that would have been fine.
Yeah.
At least for a little bit. I don't know how sustainable that is, but that is a partial solution. I think that a lot of this has to do with childcare access.
Yeah.
And not having it at home, not having affordable childcare, because of course I have an issue. But I'm in a very privileged situation where, like, if I really had to, I could pay the overtime hours. Now, at some point, that stops being financially worth it for me to work my job and pay the amount of overtime that they would need. But, like, generally speaking, not all women have that option. So having affordable childcare that's accessible, that goes later and earlier in the morning, that matters. That would help. I think having set hours for women who are part-time. This was an issue when I was leaving, was that I wanted to go part-time.
I don't know that I've ever
talked. I don't think I've ever talked about this.
No, this is tea, and I've researched you. I've listened to everything.
I don't think I've ever talked about this, actually. At some point, I did explore the option of going part-time. The problem was that in law, they do something called reduced hours, but you end up you have something called billable hours where you like write down every single thing that you're doing every day.
I had consulting. I was in consulting for 2 years.
There you go.
Picture that.
Okay. I actually would, and I would love to see the outfits you wore, honestly.
You have to. I was the personality hire on the team.
I
literally
love it.
Like I invented being the personality hire. They were like, we don't know why we hired you, but it was to like,
no, someone needs to be relatable and talk to clients. It was to charm
the clients.
Somebody needs to talk to clients.
It was like to take them out for drinks.
Business development.
Yeah.
But so
the problem
is you have billable hours. Mm-hmm. They would say, okay, if you're going part-time, reduced hours, then like you only have to hit this billable hour requirement.
Right.
Like, you don't have to work the same amount of hours as everyone else does. 2 problems. One, most people end up working the same amount of hours and they just take a pay cut.
Yep.
And there isn't always an escalation clause where I don't know if that's what it's called, but there's not always a matching scale where if you do go over the hours that you were supposed to work, then they give you the money anyway. A lot of the time, they don't. You just take the pay cut.
They're like, whoops, you're bad.
The second issue is that you don't actually get to set those hours. So it's not like I could say, hey, I'm only going to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday, unless there's an emergency, you leave me alone.
No. They're like,
that's not a thing.
Friday through Sunday, we need you.
Yeah, so it doesn't actually help that much because the biggest issue is scheduling. Mm-hmm. Like if I could know that I was going to be off those days and could plan to be, I don't know, at my kid's soccer game or recital or whatever it is, that would make life a lot easier as a mother. But that wasn't necessarily an option. So in terms of solving that corporate gap for women, I do think having set part-time schedules in higher positions of power would be helpful.
Yeah. So. And like, we could talk about this forever. We need to do a whole episode on this. But
man.
I feel like also like giving the men like more leave and more maternity is a huge thing too. Like make the men step in, you know?
Yes. They have it. They don't always take it.
They always have it. They never take it. And I'm realizing that with my own husband. He's like, I think I'll just take a month. I'm like, don't you get my neck? Just my neck just broke to that. But I'm like, I thought you got more leave. He's like, yeah, but I'm in sales. If I take off, the men have it. They never take it, which is another issue we don't even have time to discuss.
For sure.
But okay, so when you left Big Law, it obviously had some great effects on your life because you are where you are now. I love that you've acknowledged that is a very privileged choice to be able to make, and that's amazing. But at the same time, like, I don't know, I feel like it's very relatable still because there are people out there that or women out there that are leaving their jobs making nothing as a stay-at-home mom, but it's because their childcare was more expensive than what they're making in their job as a teacher or what have you. Which, again, teachers need to be paid more, but
I agree.
Yeah, so I don't know. I love that you acknowledge that. How did this all affect your identity for yourself? That's just a big shift. You go from being this big corporate lawyer to a mom and a content creator.
Really hard.
Yeah.
Had a bit of a mental breakdown. I was already really struggling with PPD. And then I had been kind of conditioned to walk what I kind of refer to as the prestige path, right? Where you accumulate all of these more traditional accolades and achievements, law school, whatever, big law firm, all of these things that, I was always taught you do this and then this and it's all great. And but was I really happy? I don't really know. So leaving to do something that's off the beaten path from what I was taught was more appropriate, was really scary and alarming, especially something so public. My mom is a super private person. She's I'm sorry.
She's really, Leah?
Yeah, she's really what now?
This career?
Mm-hmm. And she's been very supportive in a lot of ways, but I think she was also very confused.
Yeah.
What's going on here? And I get it, right? And she's worked really hard to help me have a certain life with stability. And, being a lawyer is very consistent.
Yeah. Well, and it's something you go to special schooling for. It's something like you're saying, like the outside world, your parents, especially that generation and above, they tangibly understand it way more than social media.
Yeah.
So it's just easier to explain. And that already, them understanding it or the lack of understanding what you're doing now probably affects your identity so much too. I've had like parents, friends be like, you're a social media influencer. What do you do? Just like tweet all day? And I'm like, yeah, that makes me feel like shit. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a big identity shift.
People are quick to kind of demean and look down on influencers and social media instead of like seeing it as the way of the future or seeing it as how women have kind of like empowered themselves through consumer culture. It's just easy to knock it down, especially because they don't understand it. But everything that's new is alarming at first, and you don't think it's going to make it.
Oh, totally.
I bet people. I'm sure, I feel like I've heard stories about this. People, when Amazon first started, were like, what is this? No one's going to order all this stuff online. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And now
5 years later, it's
the way of life.
Yeah.
So I think anything that's new and doesn't resonate with like an old guard of being is easy to discount and dismiss. And I found that I was even guilty of participating in that. But I mean, it was hard. It was confusing for me. I was like, well, I work so hard. I have this education and this degree, and now I'm not doing anything with it. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So it was really difficult. I think in the long run, though, it's been a really wonderful exercise in learning what really matters to me now as an adult and the person I want to be instead of who I was conditioned to be.
Yeah. And what did that like conversation and process look like with your husband? Because he's been very supportive of this move, which not all husbands could do. Like I can tell you right now, if I go to my husband and I'm like, quitting work, period. Well, I guess I already did that and he was supportive. Just kidding. I'm not a good example. But how did this change affect your relationship? Was he supportive?
Oh my God. He was like, can you just leave? Like, I just sent him a meme actually in the cab over here where I was like, it was something where it was like every partner whose spouse works in law is like, are we done yet? Like any other job, job. Like, are we done? I think he knew because we've been together so long. We've been dating since we're like 15, 16 years old. He was like, I never really thought that this was going to be it for you. Yeah. So he comes from a family of entrepreneurs. His mom is an entrepreneur. He's an entrepreneur. He has his own company. And he was like, we can't do anything that you want to do because you're chained to this job all the time and constantly worried about whether you'll need to be here. And like, we're relying on all these other people. Again, this is all a very privileged, like, stance to have. I just like acknowledge full stop. Like, this is not, I'm very lucky to be in this position where he was like, this is not making you happy. It's not making our family happy. You're never really around for our kids on the weekends, or at least we don't know if you're going to be. It's hard to pick up and go anywhere. So he was he's like, down.
Please get out.
Yeah, he was like,
but you're still hustling too. It's not like you like are.
For sure.
You're still working.
For sure.
And it's a different type of work. Do you feel like you literally like work more almost now?
Sometimes. I think in the beginning, so this was the hard part for my husband. He, like, when I was like, wait, what did I just do? Like, did I just throw my whole life away and, like, ruin it? And then I, like, had my crash out, as the kids like to say. And then he was like, wait, I thought that this was going to reduce anxiety. And, like, what's happening here? I think he was confused by how hard it hit me. And at that point, I was like, I have to make this work now. Like, I've given up my whole life, like my career path, everything I thought it was going to be. So I have to make this work now. And I was pushing and pushing and pushing and was like forcing it. And it was not working. And it wasn't until I was just like, you know what? This is just going to be what it's going to be. And like, I just have to be me and do my thing. And if it works, great. If not, I'll pivot again. Yeah. And like, that'll be fine. It wasn't until that point, though, that like I finally settled down, because then I felt like I was working more than in Big Law, because I was constantly with my phone out and editing and like what am I going to do? Trying to game plan and strategize and like,
it's a lot.
Forget it.
People don't understand the behind the scenes of the content creation.
No.
It's a lot. And you end up working constantly.
You do. It's true.
No, but we're so grateful because, again, like I could say this all day, but like truly the content you're sharing is purposeful. It's not like you're just sharing outfit links, which even if you were, that's fine too, like we said, because again, I could do a whole episode on why we need to stop shitting on influencers no matter what content we're sharing. And I know you've written about that.
Yeah.
And I fully agree with your stance on that because it is a misogynistic take to shit on them. But no, we're just so grateful because the content you're sharing is truly helping other mothers like myself already. So thank you. I have literally so many questions for you about your motherhood and pregnancy experience. And I know we don't have that much time left because time flies and this is such a good combo.
Ask me anything.
I guess just like, we'll skim the surface and have to have you back on. But overall, as I'm sitting here in my 3rd trimester and, you know, my pregnancy's been up and down, I'm thinking, like, what was Leah's like? Did you have blissful pregnancies? I know you're very open about this stuff, your postpartum experiences. Like, what were you one of those women who, like, enjoyed being pregnant? Be honest.
Not
Oh, really?
Like, fuck that.
I was like, I don't know what she's going to say.
Not really. I mean, my first pregnancy, okay, so I kind of take it back. So my first pregnancy ended in a miscarriage really early. And then my second pregnancy was almost immediately after, and that is now my son. I was so happy to be pregnant after my miscarriage that, like, I didn't care what was going on. I didn't care if I was tired. I didn't care if I didn't feel well. I was, like, still grinding away at my job, and I was like, you know what? I'm happy to have this baby. And every day I remember I'd go to the bathroom and just pray there wasn't blood. And, like, as far as that was not happening, then I was like, okay, great. I didn't really care. Towards the end of my pregnancy with my son, I was like, holy shit, are we done yet? Yeah. First of all, I have huge babies. Yeah. My babies are big. He was early. My back was on fire. I had the worst acid reflux where I was waking up in the middle of the night and throwing up, like, just out of nowhere. And it was, it was disgusting. It was vile. It was totally vile. Not great at the end. But the rest of it was, like, fine. Delivery with him, disaster, but that's probably for another day. That didn't go so great. My second pregnancy, really kind of hard.
It's always the girl.
Yeah, the girls suck the life out of you. It's really true. I was just really tired. I think part of that is circumstance, right? Like, still in Big Law with a toddler, pregnant, renovating an apartment.
No, I physically don't know how. You didn't?
Had a lot of shit going on. I was just like, I was exhausted. I was really nauseous the whole time. I was really tired. So not great. I didn't have complications in pregnancies though. Okay. And same thing at the end with her. I was like, this baby needs to come out effective immediately. Both my kids were a little early, and I was like, not too early where it was scary, but like a little early, and I was like, great. Yeah. Eviction notice has been served. Like, they need to vacate the premises immediately.
I love that you're brave enough to admit so many things, but especially just like that your pregnancy, that you went through that loss and miscarriage, which thank you for sharing that with us. Yeah. And I know you've written about it before too. So, but I just think it's so brave of you to admit that, because that you went through this, and that your pregnancy still, like, while you are grateful, it still wasn't all like sunshine and rainbows and perfect bliss. Yeah. Because as somebody who went through IVF, I haven't suffered from a loss or anything, thankfully, yet.
IVF is hard.
But IVF is hard. And I have felt like up until recently, I was like, I cannot complain about being pregnant. I can't publicly complain. I have to make it look like it's all perfect because I'm so grateful. And then I posted something about it and people were very, like, receptive to me complaining. They were like, no, you're allowed to complain. Like, two things can be true at the same time. Yes. Like, you are allowed to suffer from a miscarriage, be very grateful for your successful pregnancy, and then also complain about it and feel like shit during it.
I just, like, I don't see the point in making each other feel bad about something that's objectively hard.
Yeah.
Like, pregnancy is hard. I think we should be allowed to complain about it, because then maybe there wouldn't be some illusion that it's all supposed to be great and perfect. And then we wouldn't feel so bad about things being hard and complain. There's the shame element, and so much of it comes from feeling silenced about anything that's not the picture perfect image of motherhood.
Right.
Like, if we're not obsessed with every second of it, you're a bad mom, you're ungrateful.
Yeah.
Why aren't you over them? Like, shut up.
No, literally,
like,
shut up.
I'm throwing up everywhere. Of course I'm grateful for my baby. Do I also wish I didn't feel her foot in my ribs? Like, yeah, I do. Like, why can't both those things be true? And they can. And I've said this a lot about miscarriage too, and with my hemorrhage, because I felt so bad about talking about it and complaining about it when I knew other women had had it worse. And who does that serve? Like, what does that do for anyone?
I give you such credit, because you wrote that article about it in HuffPost, and I'm sure talked about it elsewhere too, but you wrote that years ago, and that was so, like, before the time where people really started coming out and talking and sharing their stories of miscarriage, of loss, of fertility struggles. I feel like we've made strides, thank heavens, because we need to hear that. But then that's why I get so frustrated when there's like public figures and stuff that come out and they're like, no, we shouldn't be talking about those scary fear-mongering stories, because then it scares women. I'm like, no, this is reality. Like, let's talk about it and let's share.
Yeah.
And it's so annoying when like people get backlash. Like, when you shared all that, did you get any backlash or any weird feedback?
Yeah, especially with the miscarriage. People were like, you didn't have a baby. Like, you didn't have a miscarriage, like, because it was so early. And I even had that kind of in my personal life, which is why I didn't talk about it at first. Where it's like, people were like, that wasn't even really a baby. That was like an idea. And I was like, well, I had a positive pregnancy test. There was a baby. I bled it out. But it was really early. Of course, I'm not saying that having an early miscarriage is as traumatic as having a stillbirth.
Right.
Like, no one's saying that.
Right.
I didn't say that. But my point is that if no one's talking about it and I wasn't allowed to grieve it, then other women must feel that way too, right? Like, I didn't know I had what's called a chemical pregnancy, which, like I said, is a very early miscarriage. I am an arguably overeducated woman. I didn't even know what that was. Yeah. Same thing with the postpartum hemorrhage. I didn't know what that was. So the fact that, like, I had those things happen to me and I'd never heard of either. Where is everyone else in the world? Like, no one's talking about it. Why? And then why are we discounting each other's feelings instead of trying to have a community, both, you know, in your personal life and also more writ large, like, where we're navigating these issues together? And if we're silent about it, or worse, we're knocking each other down about it, then there's no way to move forward, and we can't advocate for the changes that we need. For example, like, more medical attention and research into how to prevent hemorrhages or whatever it might be. I'm not a scientist or a doctor, obviously.
Literally, yes, you are at this point. I could
No, but those are not in my gift bag. But
no, but yeah,
it's like, why? And it is really frustrating when people say, "Well,
I've learned long ago, like, we cannot compare." You're exactly right. Like, no matter when it happens, I talked about this on my episode with my sister today, because she shared how she had one in the first trimester with her third pregnancy. She had a miscarriage early on. And we were saying, like, you know, when she was even telling it, she was like, you know, it was early on and I've had friends with later and what. And I'm like, it is still so grief-worthy. It is, especially after, like, now me going through pregnancy. I was telling her, like, I don't care if it's 9-10 weeks. That feels like a lifetime. Like, I don't care if it's longer. It's all still grief-worthy. I feel like that too. I could go on a tangent, but, like, I've learned through grieving my mom who died when I was 24 that we can't compare grief, because, like, I know so many people through the camp that I volunteer with for the children.
Which is amazing, by the way.
Thank you so much. You know,
I love that.
I love that organization. But I've learned, like, there's so many people there that have lost ones, moms, dads, whoever, when they're like 12 years old or younger.
Right.
And I used to always compare my grief and be like, well, I got 24 years. I'm one of the lucky ones.
Right.
But like, there's no point in comparing because it's all relative.
We compare and we also qualify.
Yeah.
But there's no point. Like, even, I'm going to call you out for a second. Like,
Yes.
you were like, oh, well, I didn't go through a loss, but I did IVF. Like, that was a qualifier to, like, discount your own experience. And, like, for what?
That's
Going
so
through
true.
IVF is fucking hard, man. I didn't go through IVF. Like, that's hard.
I qualified.
You qualified, and there's no reason for it. Like, I think women generally have a tendency to qualify and apologize and, like, stifle our grievances because that's what we've been taught to do, especially, like, if it's not in the service of others, then we're told that we're creating fear or we're taking away attention from, you know, more pressing matters. And it's not really true. These are pressing matters, and they deserve to be talked about.
Yeah.
So we should.
And they're real stories. Oh,
yeah.
I could truly, like, you're preaching my literal language. We need to have you back on because I truly have so many questions for you. Like, I want to talk to you about, like, birth plans. Before we get into our game, I guess my one question, because you literally just shared how your birth was a little crazy, and I know we can read about it too. Yeah, before we get into our fun game, because I want your opinions on this stuff.
Let's hear it.
Do you believe in a birth plan? I was like starting to talk about one this morning in my appointment because everyone is asking me what my birth plan is. And I was like, I don't know. I'm always like, what is a birth plan? Like, get the baby out safely. So, like, you seem to have your shit all together. Did you have a birth plan, or, like, should I?
That's my birth plan.
Okay.
Exactly. Get the baby out safely. Like, did you go to medical school?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Unless you went to medical school and you specialize as an OBGYN, like, the only ultimate goal you should have is to get you and your baby out safely, not just the baby, you too.
Yeah.
Everyone should get out safely. That said, you can have preferences. You want an unmedicated birth? Go for it. Why? I don't understand. But, like, knock yourself out. If that's your preference, wonderful. Are there some risks that I hope are explained to everyone? If you make that choice, yes. If that's a risk you're willing to take, great. I just hope you're being advised of all of those risks.
Right.
In terms of having a birth plan, you can have preferences, but I think ultimately, like, unless you're really a specialist, and even in that moment, you're not a specialist in your own care, like,
that's
leave
true.
it up to a doctor you trust.
That's true. The doctor we saw this morning basically was like, listen, because we were like, should we have a birth plan for you right now? Because we don't. And she was like, people come in with a plan and birth doesn't go as planned.
What plan ever goes according to plan? No plan goes according. You think a birth plan, your baby who's still in you is going to go according? No.
Well, and like all these things I see on TikTok, like now I saw something about like delayed cord clamping. Didn't know that was a thing. And then I'm like, I would never like, I don't have like the confidence in my TikTok research to find something and take it into the hospital and be like, now we are delaying the cord clamping until the cord is white all day. Like, I would take that if I see something that piques my interest. I would take it, go to the medical professional and be like, I saw this. What are your thoughts on it? And ultimately, I trust her or him, her, way more than like myself to make that judgment call because they've studied it. So I don't know. I'm just...
For sure. I think that's kind of the idea, right? It's like if there's something that piques your interest, one, ask questions about it, and two, say, hey, if this is possible and won't put me or the baby at risk, this is my preference.
Okay.
Like, that's how I would go into it. I did not have a birth plan with either child. I guess with my second, there was a birth plan in the sense that, like, they were taking extra precaution to make sure that I wasn't going to hemorrhage again. So there was some plan in terms of having certain medications that I did not use the first time around just to make sure that I didn't bleed out. I think it's great to have preferences as long as you're willing to move from them. Like, if you are gung-ho, like, this is going to be a vaginal delivery, but your baby's heartbeat is really dropping or something, like at some point you got to be flexible enough to pivot, in my opinion.
No, I agree.
Also find a provider who is empathetic and willing to listen to your preferences. I think that's important too. But yeah, I think as long as you're willing to be flexible with them,
I agree.
Knock yourself out.
I love your take on that because I could have seen it going either way. Like I could see you having like a full-on plan.
No plan. No plan. Get baby out safely. And then second time around, get me out safely too. Would be great.
Yeah, that would be great too. Don't forget about me.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, with the 2 seconds we have left, I'm going to make us do unpopular mom opinions.
Okay.
Where these opinions were submitted by audience members. They're unpopular opinions about motherhood or parenting. And you say whether you agree or disagree and why.
Okay.
Okay, so toddler stage is better than the newborn stage.
Agree.
Okay. Yeah, wow. People aren't fans of the newborn stage. I'm really finding out.
Not into it.
Oh.
They give you nothing back at that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They cry and they poop and they sleep and like then repeat cycle. They eat. Like they give you nothing back, at least for the first 8 weeks. Once they start like smiling and giggling, it starts to be a little better. But it's so much fun seeing their like little personalities come out.
That's what I hear. Yeah. The rare subset of people who love the newborn phase, it's because their newborn is just like magically perfect.
That's also bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Newborn is magically perfect. I had my daughter was as easy as they come, like happy to sleep, happy to eat, like nothing crazy, and still no baby's perfect. No one's perfect. No. So,
this is why I love your takes on things, because you just take all the motherhood like notions and phrases and slash them.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. If that's what you're selling, I'm not buying. I don't know.
I love it because I've been people have tried to sell that to me, and I'm like, still a baby that like cries loudly. Newborn sleep is better than end of third trimester sleep. And that one probably depends on like the situation.
It depends on the situation, the baby.
Yeah.
Like the problem with newborn sleep is that, at least for me, okay, so full disclosure, I had a baby nurse for part of it, but on nights where I did not, like I definitely felt like I was waking up more because I was terrified of like not hearing. This got easier with the second baby, but like first time around, I was like constantly checking to see if they were breathing, and then
that's me.
Yeah, it's in some ways it's third trimester sleep is better for me. I don't know. It's a mixed bag. Again, I had the vomit situation, so I don't know. None of it's great.
You were throwing up with acid reflux. That's right.
It does all get better.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, yay.
Yeah.
A short maternity leaves like 6 weeks is manageable. Those are fighting words.
Not for me.
Okay.
I know some people who do that and are ready to get back to work and excited for that. I think having a 6-week mandated maternity leave without knowing how the birth and delivery went is not great.
Yeah.
With my daughter, I probably could have gone back after 6 weeks. I would not want to, but I like, physically could have. With my son, there was no way in hell I could have gone back physically.
Yeah.
So I think there are some women who are just ready to get back to work and like they don't want to do it. For me, that's way too soon to part from my kids.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems sad, like having to pass over your baby to someone else at 6 weeks. I feel bad. I feel bad for the people that it is so mandated and they have no other choice. And
for sure.
Oh my God. It's just early.
Yeah. It's early. It's early. But like I said, some people are ready to go back. I'm like, all right, that's totally cool.
Yeah.
That's whatever you want.
And then I'm kind of making my own up because I just remembered I really want to get your quick take on this, even though this is our preview to the whole next episode.
Okay, let's hear it.
I love your stance on like the whole notion of women can have it all. Like, why do we not like that? Because I admittedly, like up until kind of recently, I used to march around being like, I want to have it all. And it is possible. Like toxic girl boss culture. Like, I want to be a mom. I want I want to accomplish my dreams, have my career, like, but it is really not realistic. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? If you could summarize. Sorry, I'm really giving you a tough situation here.
No, it's okay. I like a challenge. How Elle Woods of me.
Yeah, literally.
I think that the concept of having it all is prefaced on the notion that you can have it all at the same time, which is not true.
Yeah.
And I also don't think you can necessarily have it all at different times. I think the problem with the idea of having it all is that it doesn't leave room for women wanting one or the other and that being okay. There's a lot of pressure to have it all and to do it all. And like we were talking about earlier, like especially if you're in the corporate world, there's so many more opportunities now to work for yourself, and it's more realistic to have it all. But like you're gonna have to get back to me on how your schedule and your desires and your goals have changed after this baby comes out. I'm curious to see. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. But the idea that you can have like a high-powered corporate job in a traditional sense and be a mom at the same time, like it's doable. But what we need to be talking about, if that's the case, is the cost.
Right.
Both financially, physically, emotionally. Like what are the costs there? Because you're always giving something at some point in time and you have to be okay with that. I'm not saying you can't be okay with that. I'm saying you need to figure out a way to reconcile that shit. Like, so there are ways to do it. I just think, one, we should stop pressuring everyone to want that. It's okay to not want that.
It's okay to want one or the other.
It's okay to want them at different times.
And if you have just one or the other or at different times, that's not you not having it all. You still, your definition of having it all could be just having
100%.
One of those.
100%. I think it's just coming up with a more expansive definition of what it means to have it all that's like not within the toxic girl boss culture.
Yes.
Like, what does it really mean? Because for me, it's now become about flexibility and autonomy and not just financial autonomy from my husband, but like autonomy over my life and my schedule.
Yeah.
So I think it's just about reconfiguring that definition of having it all to something that really actually works and is implementable.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't for so long.
Yeah. My definition of having it all is going to be like, you know, maybe once in a while getting to go get a facial or my nails. Like I'm afraid of that the self-care is going to slip and I need that to be happy.
Don't let it slip.
Okay.
This is like a huge, no, seriously, this is so important. So many people, when they become moms, they like forget about taking care of themselves because they see any sort of self-care as selfish. It's not.
Yeah.
Like a happy taken care of mom makes a happy taken care of baby. So like,
amen.
Go get your nails done, go get your facial, go get a massage, get your highlights done. Like you do what you got to do.
Okay.
And you make sure you have the support in place to do it. And don't feel bad about it.
I'm literally not now. Like I'm going to literally just hire anyone. I'll appoint. I will leave my baby with anybody so that I can go get my facial. Literally, Lia, thank you so much. I feel like we jumped around so much because I have 50,000 more questions for you. But where can we all find you? Your content? Are you writing a book in the future?
I hope so.
Oh my God. I can't wait. I'm going to be the first in line for an autograph.
Amazing.
Where can we find you all?
You can find me on TikTok and Instagram, OneLitMama with an underscore. It's OneLitMama with an underscore at the end. And then I have a Substack called Mom Talk. TALK, which is like a play on.
Shit. The secret lives. They're coming for you.
I am curious.
I just realized.
I mean, I have not watched the second season. I know I'm super late to the game, but I got to watch it.
You've got to.
I spend so much time in Utah that I really do have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can find me on Substack. I have articles published in a couple places. But yeah.
Well, we're going to find you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.